Welcome back to another episode of Footballin' with Ben Roethlisberger. My name is Spence, and as always, I am joined here with two-time Super Bowl champion and cowboy hat aficionado, Ben Roethlisberger. Solid hat, man.
It is a good hat.
Every time I see it, I think I should get one of those.
You should.
I don't.
You know why I have my hat on tonight?
Why is that?
I mean, I wear it a lot, but you know why I'm wearing it tonight for the show?
Why?
Because this weekend, Luke Combs.
Oh, that's right.
Coming to the Berg.
Talk about it. I'm
excited. I'm a huge Luke Combs fan. Do you know who Luke Combs is? Are you
I know who he is. I'm not a huge country fan, but I know who he is.
Oh, we're already on our guest, by the way.
Yeah.
I got in trouble earlier, Ryan, because I tried to make this big deal where I tried to do this like entrance, like on tonight's show, we got like linebacker. I do this whole thing. And then some people on the bottom of the comments were like, yeah, we can see at the title who's on it, you idiot. Like, oh, okay. It's not live, so it doesn't really make. So anyway, yeah, Ryan Shazier's here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm glad to be here. And Spence, I'm not going to lie. I love the way you said two-time Super Bowl champion.
Yes, sir.
People don't understand how important that is.
Well, I appreciate it.
But yeah, music. So you know Luke, but you know of his music. But
I know of his music. If a song comes on, I know it's Luke Combs. But like, I'm not going on Spotify and picking Luke Combs. Like, if I do pick a guy in country, it might be oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Brian, older guy, younger guy.
No, it's a middle-aged guy. He sounds like he's like singing or like
Are you
like
talking
jazz.
about Kane Brown?
Yeah, I'll do Kane Brown, but that's not who I'm about to say. It's Kane Brown, and the other guy is the Tennessee whiskey.
Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton's really good. Chris Stapleton's really good.
Yes, he's country, but like I feel like everybody
he can
likes,
do everything.
Yes.
Yeah, he don't sound like country, so
yes.
I like Chris Stapleton.
If I was going to pick when I've actually picked country songs that I've like, oh, let me click this on.
Yeah.
I've like listened to Kane Brown a few times.
Okay. Well, shout out to Ramon Foster because Tennessee whiskey, he would play that because of the old Tennessee thing. Anytime. Ramon, he would play that all the time just because it said Tennessee. It is a Tennessee Ramon. So shout out Ramon. But yeah, so he's coming to town. So I'm excited for that this weekend. So I got my hat a little tip of the cap and I will have it on.
Should I?
You're going too.
Yeah, should I get one?
I mean, it's up to you.
Here's the deal. If you walk in with a hat and I walk in with a hat, it's going to look like a twins, Dan DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger thing going on.
There's going to be a lot of people with hats, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I know,
but they're going to be like, oh, no, you guys were podcast together. Now you're cowboy hats together.
Are those matching boots? Yeah, so who cares, man? That's the one hat I cannot pull off.
Cowboy. Yeah, I'll say is this your first episode that I had on?
No, I've had a couple. The thing is, I have such a huge forehead. I didn't want to distract it, so I started wearing a lot of hats, and then I got into like a rhythm of it. But I'm kind of liking it, man.
Well, you got the hair flowing tonight?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, you
know.
know.
A lot. Something that's really weird is like the last year and a half, like, so my dad, when he comes up here, he spends a lot of time with, like, he tries to spend a lot of time with Mel Blunt. So it's just like
speaking of cowboy hats.
Yeah, speaking of cowboy hats.
The real OG.
My dad is just like out of nowhere. It's just like now all he wears is like cowboy hats, cowboy boots. It's just like the last 2 years. It's just like he's the gospel cowboy. I'm like,
the gospel cowboy.
Dude,
I love
that's
that.
That's the dope because your dad's a preacher.
Yeah.
The gospel cowboy.
He doesn't wear it up. He doesn't wear it like to church, does he?
He wears it to church.
I'll go to that church.
I will
go to that church.
Like sometimes, like obviously he's not wearing it every time he's like speaking, but like sometimes like he'll come in with his hat on. Like I'm having I think for my golf outing, I promise you he's gonna have a hat on.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, if he ever rides a horse to church on Sunday, he will be. I will come. I want to be there and be a part of that.
I think he rode a horse. I don't think he was in church, but he was at an event where he was on a horse. I should have called him.
Did I ever tell you about that time I was speaking in San Antonio and these people, there was like 1,600 people there and I was speaking at this event and then some I don't know, they had like things lined up throughout the day and the people that were coming on after me rode into the event on 2 Longhorns.
No.
They rode in, like they split the crowd with Longhorns. And I remember thinking like, this doesn't seem safe. They're just going through the crowd of people with Longhorns. And I'm like, that seems wildly unsafe, but it's Texas. So like, what are you gonna tell them about it?
I love it.
Yeah, it was wild.
So one of and I'm pretty sure of the name, but one of Ashley's family's good family friends. Does that make sense? Like Ashley's family friends, is Ron and Debbie Noggle, and he does a lot. He's a very, very strong Christian man, and he did Cowboys for Christ.
Oh, really?
And that was like his
really?
like ministry is called Cowboys for Christ, where it was like horses, cowboy. I mean, that's what they did. So
Yeah, I can support that for sure.
Maybe think about that.
Since we're speaking about Cowboys, I got to ask you a question. Have you watched Yellowstone?
Look at that hat. Ryan, look at that hat and ask that question.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I like a lot of TV shows, but that might be my favorite.
Yes, for sure.
That might be
We're
my
waiting for a call.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the like second half of the fifth season.
Yes. Come on, Kevin. Come on, Kevin Costner. Now, come on, baby. Let's go.
Okay, so Ryan, big fan of Yellowstone. If you had to pin like Ben as one of the characters, who would you say he would be?
On Yellowstone?
Yeah, on Yellowstone.
Oh man.
Because he has.
There's only two possibilities, to be honest. There's two choices.
It's either Rip or John Dutton.
Come on now.
I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's either Rip or John Dutton. So
if you had to be a character, though,
if Kevin doesn't show up,
you could totally do it.
I'll go.
They won't even know.
They'll never know.
No, they'll be like, "Oh, Field of Dreams for sure." He was in Field of Dreams.
yeah. But for me,
who would you be?
I don't know who I would be on there. Honestly, like
Jamie.
I'm not Jamie. No way.
Nobody wants to be great. No one wants to be Jamie.
There's no way I'm Jamie.
It was immediate.
Al used to call Mason Jamie all the time.
There's no way I'm Jamie. I forgot the other brother name. That's probably who I'll be. Because he has the
what's it? Luke Grimes plays him, right? Is that the one you're talking about? Casey.
Yeah, Casey. I'll probably be Casey because my wife she's Puerto Rican and she's different. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't always fit the way of like how my family does things. So
there you go.
I can see that.
I like the reasoning behind it too. There's connected to the backstory.
So have you seen the other ones like the 1883 and
So I've seen 1883. I haven't seen 1923. I think it is.
All the different things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
I've seen 1883 though.
Real good.
Yeah,
really
good. Yeah.
Both of them are really good.
Yeah.
Even the 19.
I haven't finished that one.
Harrison Ford's in the
yes. Harrison
I
Ford's
haven't
in
seen that one.
And was it Helen? How do you say Helen Mirren?
Helen Mirren. Yeah.
How do you say it?
She's done nothing terrible. She's awesome.
I mean, that's a great show.
I have to check that one. I did see the 1883, the lightning with the yellow hair. That got me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my wife is blonde, my daughter's blonde, so it's like, and it's like a father-daughter thing. I was like, I feel like Tim McGraw.
I thought Tim McGraw was, he's an unbelievable
dude.
He did a great job.
He's awesome.
I did not see that coming.
He did a great job.
He's awesome.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Awesome. All I could see was Blindside.
I was singing the songs every time he come on screen. I just would get his song stuck in my head.
That was a great one. But
yeah.
I was excited. That's why I got the hat on. Big concert this week. I'm excited for it. Lainey Wilson. I think Riley.
Isn't Taylor Swift coming this weekend too?
No, that's not till June.
Oh, a friend of mine said she was coming.
Unless
Saturday.
she's sneaking in. No, I think she's June 16th and 17th.
Oh, okay.
You going on that one too?
I looked. Yeah, I think
you're
so.
going on that one.
Yeah, because my wife asked me to get. I don't know why. I was like,
actually listen to Taylor Swift.
I think it's for Bailey, but I'm like, Bailey knows some of her like old stuff.
Yeah,
but not her like new. Some of her new stuff she uses like some bad words.
I would go see a Taylor Swift show because I'm a production guy. So I'm sure she's probably insane.
It's
right?
probably it's got to be a great show. I mean, everyone talk. I mean, it's sold out. But and I don't want to go back and discredit her, but like, did you hear what Luke did on like a week or two ago where he did a show and it was like he just did like or I'm gonna do one tomorrow night too, like a total impromptu stadium thing, like just
at a whole stadium.
I think so, yeah, like a whole. As far as I'm almost positive. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive. Just I'm gonna do another one because people ask for it. But
hey, man.
Anyway, yeah, the Taylor one is gonna have to be because someone at one point I thought I read that she did like 50 costume changes or something. I mean, something ridiculous. Where like every song is a different outfit.
It's got to be insane. Her shows probably feels like an award show. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Like she's that. Like it's only a few names that as big as her. Like in music, like Drake is as big as her. In like different genres. Bad Bunny. So it's just like.
Are you a big music guy, Ryan?
I like Drake.
Have you ever seen Drake live?
Yeah, so I seen Drake live in college.
Well,
so
what was that like?
Like it was like like Shot for Me and like Best Ever. No, not Best Ever.
Off his mixtape.
Yeah, no, Shot for Me was off of Take Care album.
Oh, okay.
So I was in college and then it was at the Schottenstein Center and one of my teammates had he's really close with one of the Schottensteins and he was like, hey. We got an extra ticket. Do you want to come see this Drake concert? And I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. Right. I was like, yeah. And like he was big when I was in college.
Yeah.
And to think about it, like I was in college in 2011, 2012, 2013. That was 10 years ago. Jeez. Plus,
That's wild to think about.
You know what I'm saying? So like 10 years to date, he's still as big.
Oh yeah.
Bigger.
He's way bigger. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I just think anytime, because I've done live production for the last 10 years, and so anytime I can see an artist, I don't care about the music, like that is on that level. I'm just there picking the brain. I'm telling you, I've seen hundreds. I used to work at a concert venue in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I've seen hundreds of shows come through. I have yet to see a show that is better than 21 Pilots.
I heard they're good.
Phenomenal, dude. Like, even if you don't even care about their music, just go watch what they do. It's two dudes, and they'll make PPG Paints feel like a living room. It's insane. It's amazing. It's worth seeing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right. They got some great music too. So
they do. They're very, very, very talented.
Sorry, I'm texting my wife. She just landed in Guatemala.
That sounds like the setup to a joke, but it's totally true.
No, she flew down there to do some missions work this week, and so she just landed, so that's why I apologize.
Awesome.
I'm still listening to y'all.
Yeah, so Ryan, I know you've seen clips of the show. You mentioned that you watched Coach T's episode. One thing that we do here is we sample beers. All right, so I'm going to dial up our first beer here. This is actually sent in. All three beers that are here tonight were sent in by guests.
Okay.
Yeah, or guests. Fans. Okay. Yeah, I guess the guests aren't sending in beers. So this first one, you a wrestling fan at all?
A wrestling
fan?
Hey, so I was watching wrestling. So what's crazy is I used to watch a little bit when I was younger, and then like I played a video game a lot. So a lot of dudes I played a video game with, they like wrestling. So I got back into it like right before WrestleMania, and I was like, so now I'm actually about to start watching it.
Who was your wrestler like growing up? Who was who were your top? Like who were your guys?
Obviously, like The Rock is like. I love The Rock, obviously, but I like you have to like The Rock. You have to have like Stone Cold, but like The Rock, Stone Cold, and John Cena was like my generation.
Nice,
yes.
You know, so those were the guys. And
it's funny.
You would mention Stone Cold Steve Austin because I feel like if we're gonna do this, I feel like we have to do it right. And so I will say this: I saw John Cena before he was like John Cena. Wrestle Brock Lesnar at the USF Sundome in Tampa, and it was like non-televised. It was like one of the matches they do throughout the I don't know.
When they were both growing up.
They're both coming up, and it was the first and only time I've ever seen wrestling live. And Brock Lesnar walked out, and I thought it was an alien. I was like, "There's no way a human being is that." Oh my gosh,
hey, Brock was huge.
He was an animal.
He's still huge.
Huge.
How old is he right now?
Oh no, but he's been wrestling for 20 years.
He's not young.
Yeah.
He's been wrestling for 20 years. So I was watching something because they was talking about John Cena. John Cena and Brock and like the John Cena, Brock, and I think Edge all came in like around the same time.
Yeah, dude, Edge was lethal, bro.
You know, so it was just it was crazy, but. Like to do anything for 20 years is amazing, you know.
Yeah. What'd you say, Ben?
Yeah, I think 18 years, 20, something like that.
Do you remember Brood? Remember when Edge was a vampire with Gangrel and?
So I'm gonna be honest, like
Christian was the other one.
Like so, my parents were like they're not strict, but they were very like sensitive to what we watch.
Oh, so, for sure. So they're good parents, is what you're saying. Yeah. They're good parents.
So like I need to be more sensitive to my child.
Sure.
Like for instance, so like. They'll watch wrestling will be on TV and like I can watch it sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes they wouldn't let us watch it because they didn't want me and my brother wrestling.
Yeah. No, that makes
you know
total
what I'm saying?
sense.
So like I watch like The Rock and all those guys.
Yeah.
But some guys I didn't get to see all of them all the time.
No, that's just called good parenting. That's what that's called right there. Yeah. So
what do you got going on?
Well, this first beer that we're walking into here, it is from El Segundo Brewing Company.
What do we want to do? How do we
Hold on, let me. What do you want to do? Evan, come on in here.
Evan, yeah, come on
in here. This is worth waiting for, ladies and gentlemen.
Ryan,
that's a Cuban.
This is
Woo!
Evan.
Is that what I think it is?
Evan, Ryan, Evan.
Ryan.
So you have to stay to be a part of this conversation now.
Who? Me?
You.
Oh, all right.
Evan.
You see how fast I knew the taste of the Florida lands that quick.
Okay, so we're about to sample this. Well, why don't you tell us what we're gonna have?
It's just a normal Cuban sandwich.
Nothing you makes normal.
Slow roasted pork. I did a pork chop because I didn't want to do a whole tenderloin, so I just did a pork chop and then honey roasted ham underneath that. Jeez. You have a pickle and then a mixture of mayo and mustard, butter on the bun,
I gotta send a picture to my wife because she loves Cubans.
Got extras upstairs.
Extra upstairs?
The Cuban sandwich is my favorite sandwich of all time.
Would you be cool if I take one to go?
Absolutely. Wherever you want to go. Evan.
Yes.
Did you ever? I'm sorry, you're behind me. This is a little weird, but were you ever a wrestling fan?
Like WWE?
Yeah. WWF, WWE.
Maybe like Macho Man Randy Savage and like
All
when
right.
those guys
That's
were
good, yeah.
around, but after that,
not Stone Cold Steve Austin,
not really. Wasn't a big fan, but like
because he's right behind you.
it was just a slow reaction.
Okay, because
stunner.
you need. Here's why you need to stay here for 1 second. Go ahead,
right.
Spence.
All right. Well, this beer that we're walking into is from El Segundo Brewing Company. It is Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull Double IPA. It is 8% alcohol by volume, and that's the bottom line.
Very nice.
Yes.
Stone Cold.
You gotta smack them together.
Yes, exactly. I was going to do that. I really wanted to, and I realized all of my gear is right here.
Michelle texted me.
That wouldn't be good.
Evan, this looks amazing, brother. Thank you so
thanks,
much.
Evan. We will.
All right.
I don't know where do I start?
Right.
One hand in the sandwich, one hand on the beer.
All right, so typically how we do this, Ryan, is we'll sample the beer. You smell it,
Ooh, it
you
smells
taste it, you give any feedback on notes that you might taste, you might smell, and then we'll give it a rating out of 10.
All right.
All right? Why don't you dive in there first, Ben?
The beer?
Into the beer. What do you think? Double
That's
IPA?
good.
Stone Cold?
You can tell it's a little heavier.
Yeah.
What do you say, 8?
It was 8%.
Yeah, it's a little heavier.
8%. What do you think? What do you
Smells
smell?
sweet.
Sweet.
Sorry, Ryan, it's not one of your flavored beers that you wanted. Because
Yeah.
I know you're not a beer drinker.
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker. I'm more of a tequila guy. But it smells sweet though. It's like,
All right, well,
but you said this is not flavored, so
No, it's not flavored.
not.
Well, it tastes like
Stone Cold.
Steve Austin sweat.
Yeah.
yeah. So like,
Yeah, so basically I don't like it.
no, I don't know how to grade a beer because I don't drink beer.
No, so
So that's fine.
Yeah,
If you don't like it, that's what we say.
So I would say it like this. I've had worse. But
Okay.
this-
All right.
so I would say this is at least a 6.
okay,
Six.
see,
Oh,
there
that's
we go.
solid.
There we go.
That's a
There we
perfect.
go.
Yeah, that is a perfect. That is exactly how we do this.
Spence,
Yeah. Do you like it?
put me on.
Got you.
Stone Cold. I just want you to know that this right here is awesome.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
You're the man.
Yes.
Appreciate you making this, whether you made it or not, or just put your name on it, doesn't matter. It's amazing. You're awesome. I don't care what Ryan says. This, spectacular, sir.
You poured another pour.
I did. I had to.
That's
Because
how good it was.
Stone Cold
Said so.
said so.
Right.
So based off of Ben,
I just wanted Stone Cold to like watch the show.
no, I feel you, but based off of Ben, I'm gonna have to give this a 8 now. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
No, it is good. It's good.
I don't know what else to expect. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well then dive into that sandwich.
Yes.
Well, Spence, what did
Yeah.
you think? I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're good. You should definitely dive into that sandwich.
I would have heard you to say.
That is the smoothest 8%
100%.
IPA I've ever
I mean,
had.
not 100%, 8%. But yes, I agree with
What'd
you.
I say?
No, I said 100%.
100%.
Like, I agree
This
with you.
percentage, math is hard, man. Yeah. I couldn't tell that that's 8%. That's very smooth. That's delicious.
First sip, I was like, okay, it's a little stronger, but but I take it back. It's very good.
It is very good.
Who makes it?
El Segundo.
Oh, that's right, you
Yeah.
said
So Stone Cold,
Skull.
on the off chance that this podcast comes across your phone or
Yeah.
computer.
Thank you.
If you ever want to come on and drink one, here's
Oh,
open invite.
are you
Also,
kidding me?
Could you give me the Stone Cold Stunner? It's been a dream of mine since I was like 12, so that'd be awesome.
Please, can you do that? Or to Evan or anybody else, just not me.
Can you please hurt me? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a professional, right? He can contain it.
So I might not be good at judging beer, but I can judge a Cuban. And this
Yes.
is really good.
Is it
As a
good?
Floridian,
Yeah, this is really good. This is a great sandwich. Phenomenal.
and you're South Florida too, so you know what you're talking about when it comes to
Yeah.
judging.
I had a few of these growing up.
So this is going to be a weird detail, but my favorite. So I grew up skateboarding, listening to punk rock music, all that kind of stuff, right? My favorite Cuban sandwich is from 7-Eleven, when you press it, it's nostalgic. It's not the best tasting I've ever had, but my favorite is from 7-Eleven when they pressed it, because they wouldn't always press it because the workers would be like, oh man, I don't want to do that. So they tell you that the press was broken, but I knew it wasn't broken. Like McDonald's and their ice cream machines.
McDonald's and the ice cream machine is always broken.
So that's my standard here as going 7-Eleven as I'm going into this.
Well done, Evan. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's way better than 7-Eleven.
That was awesome.
But the bread has to make it, right? What's the usual bread on a Cuban? Does it matter?
I don't know, but when they press it, it's usually a lot thinner than this, but that's
like-
delicious.
It's like what is it called? Like a panini? Like not a, like that's what
Ciabatta?
Yeah, kind of like kind of. I've had it with
This
ciabatta.
is like a ciabatta, right or no? I mean, not really ciabatta, but like a
Ciabatta, you mean? Come on now.
I don't know. That's what I was asking. Can you get it on like rye, wheat, sourdough?
Definitely
or it
not
has to
rye.
be like
That's
one.
not,
Definitely
Cuban, the Cuban is like pressed with like
Cuban
with
bread.
like a panini type bread.
Okay, it has to be a specific. That's what makes the
Yeah.
sandwich.
But
as much as anything.
It's more of just like I don't think that's what makes the sandwich, but that's how they're made. And then, with the pork and the pickles and the mayo, like just like all this combo together is just kind of how it.
The mayo mustard is super important for me. Although I had a Cuban friend of mine in Tampa tell me that like a legit one in Cuba will use butter instead of mayo and mayonnaise.
Well, he said he put butter on it though.
Oh, did he?
He said butter as
And
well.
I don't know if that's true. That's just what dude told me. I've never been to Cuba.
That's really good.
Yeah,
been to
this is delicious though.
Um,
That's round one, dude. How's he gonna top that?
well, I know, but
Oh, you know. Yeah.
well, actually, I don't know the order that he's bringing them down in. I know what we're having.
That's delicious, dude.
I was about to tell you a story, by the way, Spence.
Yes.
Ryan, I'll tell you this because you have kids, so you understand. You said you were at a T-ball game tonight.
Yeah.
Freezing cold outside. He was at a T-ball game.
It snowed today.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
it did.
Those of you that are not in Pittsburgh, we have gone from 80 degrees to snow.
In a matter of 3 days.
Yes, it's been unbelievable. But anyway, so this is I'm reading a book. I'm gonna have to say the name of it because if I don't say it, I'll feel bad. But
Is it audio or is it?
no, I'm reading because I'm taking notes in. I'm actually like, it's called Resilient Kids.
Okay.
Okay, raising them to embrace life with confidence.
I like it.
Oh wow.
Okay, by Kathy Koch,
Koch.
Coach Koch, and I feel like she's a PhD, so she's a lot smarter than me. I can't even say her name.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got this sent to me from a good friend of mine, Dr. Tim Clinton, who we know. So anyway, it's
It's
about
called Resilient Kids.
yes. It's not very long. I just started I'm like a chapter or two in. Taking notes. Ashley and I are both going to read it. But it's just really good. It's just about like resiliency, and it was very eye opening that it talks about like failure, obviously, which is what resiliency is, right? Bouncing back from failure, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on Audible.
And like failing isn't like people perceive failing as a bad thing. Failing doesn't have to be bad. Failing actually is what you learn, right? Because think about when we all were kids, we fell when we walked.
Yeah.
Every time we tried to walk, we fell.
Yeah.
Did we fail, or were we learning to walk?
Learn to walk.
We were learning. No, I mean, I'm sure there are some kids that just got up and walked and never fell. I doubt it, but there's probably somebody out there. But it's failing is good. If we as parents stood behind your kid every time and caught them, then they would never learn what it was to fail, to have perseverance, right, and resiliency. And so, anyway, at the beginning of this chapter, it talked about being trustworthy. Like, can your kids? Are you trustworthy for your kids? Can your kids come to you and talk to you? Can they feel resilient because of you? So it said, hopefully, if you asked your kids to write a list of people in their life that is trustworthy, hopefully you'd be at the top of it. I'm like, man, I hope so too. So I walk out and I was like, hey guys, listen, I want to do a fun little thing with you guys. It was on Sunday, so it was before church, and I said, what does it mean to be trustworthy? Do you guys know what it means to be trustworthy? And Bodie, my youngest, first one, boom, hand up. I'm like, all right, pal, what you got? He said, like if you ask us, and he kind of like starts talking around like, all right, buddy, spit it out. Like, you got it. He says, if you like ask us, like, did we brush our teeth? And we say yes, you have to trust us that we said the truth. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. That's for a 6-year-old, good job. And then, the other ones, and then Bailey and Benjamin both, were throwing a little bit older stuff, like, just that when we say we're going to do something, we do it, or you're there for somebody or whatever. I said, great. I said, yeah, that's awesome, guys. I said, I said, and so do you have people in your lives that are trustworthy? And I said, one thing about being trustworthy is what is it when someone, I'm trying to think the best way to word this. What is it when someone like makes a mistake or they do something, and as a person, what am I thinking for that person that kind of maybe didn't tell the truth? And Bodie blurts out, "Show him grace." I was like, wow, really?
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't even what I was thinking. But that's an even better answer. Yes, showing grace when someone makes a mistake. I said, that's really good, bud. I'm like, we just want to be trustworthy. I was just talking like being trustworthy. They're going to tell you the truth, but you're talking about grace. So anyway, my point in telling you this story is I had them. I said, I want you guys to really think about who in your life is that you would consider trustworthy. I said, you can create as long of a list, as short as your list. Just just write down whoever it is, and there's no right or wrong answers, whatever. So like Bodie was like, and I collected them. Bodie was like, Mom, Dad, my friends, and he named his 3 friends. Yes. That was his list, right? Yeah. And I'm like, good for you, buddy. Like, Mom and Dad made the list. Yeah, that's all I was hoping for, to see my name on the Mom and Dad. Bailey was like, Mom and Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, Nana, Pappy, like basically both their grandparents. And then like, I think maybe my sister, and then like some of her friends. Yeah. I'm like, all right, good job. And Benjamin is like still sitting at the table, and he's usually like, if you give him work, he hates schoolwork. Yeah. And he's like I tried to make it like it wasn't a jolly. It was gonna be fun. Like, no, it's cool. Like, what do you got? He gave me a note card, and it just the names like started big. They kept getting smaller, But it was like Mom and Dad, both Grandma and Grandpa's, my all his aunt and uncles.
So he really thought about it.
He did. It was awesome. And then he went like he named like 3 friends. You would probably know his friends. I don't want to put them out there as kids. And then he put Mr. Spence, Miss Mackenzie, and it took me a while to figure out how because Mackenzie was like AMACENSE or something.
We made it, babe. We made it.
Yes. So anyway, and he put like he put the people that you would expect in our small group. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I want to let you know that cool, Benjamin thinks you and Miss Mackenzie are trustworthy people. So you made the list. I just wanted you to know that's a long story for that, but it was cool that he did that. So it was but it's a good book. I recommend it. I just started it, but it was a really cool book, especially if you have kids to learn about resiliency.
I definitely try to think of different ways of just being a better father, and like I try to read a lot too, So like, do you read a lot?
I was never a reader, and I'm starting to get in. I'm definitely the last probably 3 or 4 years I started reading more, and even more so now, like now I try and I get up. Ashley gets up at like 5:30 in the morning, 5:30, 5:45, and I get up at like 6. And we do devotion, like we'll do devotions or read the Bible or do stuff like that. Oh, that's awesome. So that's kind of our morning reading, and then I try and get to something like this or whatever, but. Because when you have kids, you got to find time.
Yeah, you got to find time. Yeah.
And so anyway, a little bit in the mornings I do some reading. I wish I read more. I'm trying to do more, but
so I used to read a decent amount like in books, but then I've been going more to Audible books.
Okay.
But I also know if you actually read books, because I'm doing public speaking a little bit and I know when you actually read books, it helps build your vocabulary.
For sure.
So like actually flip the pages. So I go through a little bit of both. Right now, I'm actually I just started today Kevin Hart Audible book, audio book, Audible.
So he wrote a book.
He has actually 3 books out.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they biographies or just?
No, they're actually like one of them is like kind of biography because he's talking about his life, but he's talking about what he goes through life. The one I'm reading is called A Decision, and it was just basically like the decision in your life to like take that next step, because a lot of people, they have stuff that hold them back. And like, for instance, this one thing I go through sometimes, especially since I got hurt, it's just like I go through resiliency a little bit. So basically it was like, oh, my alarm is at 6. And be like, oh yeah, I'm not that tired. I mean, I'm still tired. I'm gonna wake up at 6:20, then 6:30, 6:40. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and it just talks about like, you gotta keep your word to yourself, because if you keep your word to yourself, it's a lot easier to keep it to everybody else.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's just like one part of the book, but I just started it today.
That's cool. Does Kevin actually read it?
Does Kevin read it? It's actually his voice.
Okay. Do most people do that on their own books or not necessarily?
I don't mean not most, but.
Because I wrote a book and I read the first part of it, But like David Goggins, I had read something about. I mean, I seen something, and he said it took him like 72 hours to finish reading his audio book or something like that. Wow. And I was like, I don't have enough time to.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for Kevin to do it because he's such a personality.
Yeah,
to where it's like,
his voice.
Yeah, you know, and
with like he tells jokes in it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like with AI, you could probably manipulate that.
If I was like a big traveler, like if I was like riding like in a car or doing a lot of stuff like that, like audiobooks or listening to something makes a lot of sense. Especially driving in a car, right? If you're driving.
That's me.
Yeah.
So I move around a lot. I don't really be in my. Like I rarely listen to my book in the house. It's always when I'm doing
something. Yeah, I feel like I would. I have done that. I did a little bit with I think one of the only audiobooks. I mean, I did the Bible. When I read through the Bible in a year, I did that. Like,
oh wow, that's awesome.
Part of that, like listening because you have to.
For sure,
you got to do it while you're driving in the car. But I listened to Walker Hayes. You know the singer Walker Hayes?
Yeah.
He's a country singer. If you know Walker Hayes is. Him and his neighbor Craig from the song Craig. Wrote a book together called like Neighbors or something like that, and talked about their relationships. And they both did it. And I was caught off guard because this is the first audiobook I ever really listened to that was something like that. And I heard like his voice. And I'm like, that's Walker. And,
that's pretty cool, man.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
to hear their voice and telling their stories is definitely a unique.
I think it would have been better. Like I have my book on audio. It probably would have been better if it was my voice throughout the whole book.
Yeah.
But I remember when like we just did the introductory. I can't even say the word right now. Introduction.
Yeah. Okay.
Introduction. I can't even talk right now. So basically, when we were doing that, I was reading it, and like sometimes you'll read the same line 10 times. And
that would drive
because you can't speed up or slow down at any point. It has to have the same like tone
and inflections,
and it's like when something's important, like you have to build up your voice, but it's like you read it, then you have to keep
like work.
So it's just like I just didn't have the time to do it.
I've done a handful of like voiceover and reading stuff throughout my career, and that's probably the most that's way more. So I've done music as well in the past, but that's reading something in a studio is way more intimidating than doing like a music performance, man.
I can imagine.
Yeah, that's wild. And I thought it was totally fitting to sit here and mention a book about resilience while Ryan's here.
I didn't even. Right, that wasn't even intended.
That was bum set in spec, my brother.
Was not even intended.
Well, I thought it was awesome, man. Not only obviously because of the incredible journey that you had through your injury, but because you're now doing a podcast talking about the resilience. The resiliency is the word. The resiliency of the human spirit with "Don't Call It a Comeback." Right, which is I think is a phenomenal. Obviously, the perfect person to do that. I think professional athletes in general you guys are some of the most resilient, disciplined, organized, mentally tough people on the planet. And I think as fans can watch you guys work on Sundays or Mondays or Thursday nights or whatever, it's on display at some level. But having had a close relationship with this guy and getting to peek behind the curtain a little bit at the preparation, it blows my mind all the things that we as fans don't know that you guys have to endure and then go through. And then on top of that, your incredible journey with your injury. What made you want to start this podcast to highlight these other stories?
Yeah, so what made me want to start a podcast is, so I was on another podcast network at first, and we were just strictly talking about football and what was going on throughout the week. But I was talking to my agent, and I was like, man, I just want to have a podcast that talk about comeback stories. And then just like all different type of comeback stories. It can be somebody coming back from an injury, or it can be somebody, a team that came back like the Kings. We could talk about the Kings. They haven't been to the playoffs in 17 years.
Wow.
Like imagine being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and not going to the playoffs 17 straight years.
That will never happen in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, obviously that's never happened in Pittsburgh. But it's crazy, So just talking about these comeback stories, we talked to all different type of people. We talked to like Taylor Lewan. He's coming back from his injuries that he's had. We've talked. He wanted to talk about Michigan because obviously Ohio State versus Michigan, and the team up north ended up beating us the last 2 years. But they went on like a 10-year drought of not beating us, So and he was on the like the beginning of that drought, So we talked to him about it, and then we talked to individuals that like play football. Then they was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Went to baseball, played baseball in college, and then came back to play football. We talked to just
everything.
We talk about everything, and I think it's really important because people comeback stories are amazing, and that's how like sports aren't sports isn't for comeback stories. Like even think about the Chiefs. Every time they won a Super Bowl so far, every time it's been a comeback. Yeah. And then like they had multiple comebacks so far this last year. You know, so it just like we talk about different sports, different people.
Yeah.
I just like talking about comeback stories because there's always one. You know, and it's always to me. I know my story was very inspiring to a lot of people, and I think it can be inspiring to others. Just the stories that we tell.
Yeah, and I think that's why we love sport, right? It is that root for the underdog. It's the perseverance of the human spirit. It's like somebody triumphing over adversity, man. Yeah. It's like, and that's what rallies cities together. What gives strangers something in common. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, I think that's awesome, brother. I love that you guys do it. I've been able to catch a couple clips of your guys' show. You guys are really cool. Crushing it, bro.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Well, it's crazy because I'm sure you've never talked about your injury.
Yeah, I talk about it here and there.
Oh, that's great. No, but I do like. I think it's because obviously we had our last guest was Tomlin. Yeah, and it was just we obviously talked about it a little bit, and got his perspective on it, which was I thought unbelievable. What he felt.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How you misled him with your positivity and everything.
So you hadn't heard Coach T say any of that stuff before?
None of that. I have not heard him say it like that.
Oh wow!
I felt like that was the first. I mean, I've heard him say some of that stuff. But I have not heard him say what he felt like when he went out there. No.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy because I could say I probably had Ben obviously had a coach relationship with Coach Tomlin. They've been together for a long time, but I probably had a really my relationship.
Close.
Yeah, my relationship with Coach Tomlin before I got hurt was probably significantly closer than anybody else on the team, probably other than Ben.
Oh wow!
Because every single day I would be in the facility. I'll wake up in the mornings.
Well, you were the quarterback of the defense too, so it made sense.
Yeah. And then we'll watch film together. We'd like when people weren't there, we'll watch film together. We'll spend a lot of time. Like they'll put in an install and he'll say, all right, this is the install. This is what we plan on doing. But I already knew like if something bad happened in the game, what he'll want to go to. But when everybody else was still trying to figure it out. So, like, if something happened to us in the first quarter, he'd be like, all right, Ryan, like, I know this is going to be a second half adjustment. We got to do it now. You know, like, so it was just like we just talked a lot. And we kind of, we built a relationship. So, like, when I got hurt, to me, I was in denial when I got hurt, because I just, like, I never seen nobody get a spinal cord injury on a football field.
Were you in denial on the field?
No, so the reason I say I was in denial is because it's two reasons. So one, I didn't think my injury was as bad as it was. So that's what I mean. I was in denial. Okay. And then two is just like, to me, I felt like at that time I was one of the best players in the world at my position. And
yeah, we all thought that.
And the best players in the world don't get hurt that bad. Yeah, in my head, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just like, yeah, this is like I'm probably got like a stinger, but it's in my back or something like that, or like that's like my mindset, because if you get a stinger in your arm, your arm goes numb, so it's like I might got a stinger in my in my spinal cord injury or something like that. So that was kind of my mindset. And then after me being in the hospital for a while, like I was in the hospital for like a week and some change, and I was like, I'm pretty jacked up, because I couldn't and what happened was my god brother. He played for Duquesne, and when he was at my hospital one day, I was not feeling good. I was like feeling real sick. And you know how the hospital beds, they have like the little rails that like help you not fall out of the bed. And he was sitting like basically where Ben is at, like the wall was here. Like Ben came to my hospital a few times, and like the wall was here, my bed was here. He was sitting right by me, and I couldn't like move. Like I basically couldn't move. So when I was leaning at him, talking to him, and then I was feeling so sick, I ended up throwing up, but the rail was here. Sure. And it hit the rail and it hit me back in my face. And when I was like, I can't even move out of my own way of my throw up, I was like, this is not a good situation. And then I literally, like I already knew I was gonna get better, but I literally like it clicked in my head, like Ryan, like you need to tighten all the way up and like really like focus on getting better right now. And from that moment on, I try to stay as positive as I could. And one thing that really helped is that like people constantly came, like Ben came, Coach Tomlin would come, like Vince would come, Kevin Colbert, like Mr. Rooney, like the team, like we'll have linebacker meetings at the hospital. So it was just, I've always like I kept people around, like people kept staying around me, and they just kept giving me energy to keep wanting to get better. And so but it was definitely a scary moment. But I trusted God, and I really just felt, I was gonna get over it. But it was tough.
That's wild, man.
Wow. When it happened initially, as soon as it happened, what did you feel? Was it pain? Was it just a weird feeling?
No, it was just weird because like basically I imagine you go tackle somebody, I just tackled them and I just dropped.
Yeah.
And I just dropped, and then my back was just like it had like a slight burn in it. But that was about it. It was like not a slight burn, it was like a burning sensation.
Yeah.
But it was just, and then I just couldn't feel anything. And it was just really like I didn't know what to expect, and the first thing that came to my mind was really and this is so stupid, but I don't know why, but the first thing that came to my mind was the next day I had bought Michelle a dog for Christmas. And the next day I was supposed to pick it up from the airport. So we played in Cincinnati. Yeah. And then the next day I was gonna pick this dog up. And then in my head I'm like, man, I'm hurt.
You're thinking about the dog.
I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to get this dog.
So you're on the field thinking about the dog.
I wasn't even thinking about myself. I was just like, man,
I gotta get this dog.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how we gonna get this dog to Michelle. But the thing is, the people that we was buying the dog from, they were watching the game. I didn't obviously everybody watched the games.
Yeah.
But they called my agent back and was like, hey, we understand what happened to Ryan. We can push this back. We don't need it. But that was the first thing. That's
so wild, man. I feel like you hear stories of trauma when that happens, where like something like that happens, and then all of a sudden, the first thing you think about is something completely outlandish, like, oh, that dog, I gotta go get that. You know what I mean?
I was just like, no, it was crazy.
That's got to be something in the brain that does that, right? Like some kind of defense mechanism or something.
I don't know, because like I said, I didn't think I was as hurt as bad as I was. Yeah. So I think it was more like, oh man, I'm injured. Now I got to figure things out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm injured, I can't get this dog in the morning. Yeah. So I was just
I got to get this dog.
And you didn't know how bad the injury was either.
I didn't know how bad it was, because when we was in the ambulance, I kept asking Dr. Okonkwo, I'm like, hey, how long you think it is until I get back? How much longer you think?
That was your concern.
And
shout out Dr. Okonkwo.
Yeah,
what a
he's
great
awesome.
doctor.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Evan.
Yes, sir.
What we got here?
Chicken fried steak.
From Florida.
With a cracked black pepper.
Chicken fried steak is not from Florida.
That's Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel, man. I-4. It's on I-4.
This is definitely
Well, it looks really good.
This is a Florida dish?
That's when I looked up southern Florida and the areas around, it was the first 4 were all fish and shrimp, and so I had to do some digging, and there was chicken fried steak. And then there was...
Oh, all right. No. I love chicken fried steak, but I thought the Cubano was the Florida, and then this was the Ohio.
I have the next one's the
Ohio. We're getting there. All right. Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah. So it's got a cracked black pepper gravy on it.
That sounds amazing.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh man, appreciate you, Ev.
Enjoy.
Chicken fried steak. Again, my reference for this is Cracker Barrel. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Same.
Hey, be honest with me. How many times does it take you to win the triangle peg game at Cracker Barrel?
It's really tough.
Right now, if we did it.
1.
No. There's no way you do it one shot off rip right now. See, I don't believe you. What was that? No, dude. That move right there, I could tell by your technique. That was not good. You were left with 2 pins at the end of that, brother.
That's not getting it. You leaving 2 pins.
I've used that move. You're stuck.
We're taking 1 pin out. But yeah, Dr. Okonkwo was the best. He's awesome. That's crazy. Well, and we don't need to, like I said, you've told this story a million times, unless there's something that you want to tell us. But you did mention something before we started, which I love what you said, and if you don't mind saying it, because I think it takes a lot of courage to admit what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's not easy as men, because sometimes as men we can't admit when we need help or we need to ask for directions or whatever it is. My wife says to me all the time, "You never ask for help." Well, I'm sorry, but I'm getting better. But as men, to be able to do what you're doing, and I'll let you talk about it. I'm just really proud of you for it because I think it's really special. So if you don't mind telling people, because I think it's nothing to be ashamed. It's awesome.
Yeah, no. So what I said was my first. Today was my first day actually going to therapy since my injury. So what's so crazy is.
And I looked at you funny because I was like, I was at your physical therapy.
Yeah,
but not physical therapy.
Not physical therapy, but actual
awesome.
Like mental therapy, like basically like having like a is it mental therapy? Like
therapy.
Like a counselor.
You weren't wrong in saying therapy. I just when you told me earlier therapy, I was like,
most things thinking like rehab.
I saw you do therapy. Rehab, exactly. Rehab.
I feel like if it's physical therapy, that's typically when you add like an adjective, right?
Okay,
physical
there you go.
Therapy.
So
therapy is like understood.
But anyway,
so and the thing that's so crazy with me is I actually used to go to a sports psychologist at Ohio State. So like I know how important therapy is. But for some odd reason, it wasn't like I was against it. I just didn't go. I just never.
You never thought to do it.
I was.
You didn't think you had an issue? You didn't go, or you didn't?
It wasn't that I didn't have an issue. It was just more that, I just leaned on like my family and my friends. And sometimes they were like, Ryan, you like what you're feeling right now. I don't know how I'll be able to help express it. You might need to talk to somebody. That's more of a
professional.
But
equipped to handle this.
But to me, and the thing is, I tell people all the time, like even that's going through rehab and like, hey, what would you do? I was like, man, I leaned on my family. I really trusted my family. They were there for me. I try to stay positive. If I have down days, and Ben will let you know, like even before I got hurt, I was just always positive, joking around, laughing, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am. So
very positive person.
And when I just had my family help me out, so when I had bad days, they'll bring the positivity to me, and then the next day I'll be right back to myself. So I never really thought about going to a therapist, but then I ended up going to a therapist today because I do have stuff that does bother me. Everybody has stuff that bothers them, and I do have stuff that bothers me, and I was just like, man, one thing that I'm big on is like just personal growth and growing, and I just felt like I have some I'm not gonna call it demons, but I have monsters that I feel like that are inside of me that's not allowing me to reach my full potential like I was with football.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that I talk to a therapist because I do tell people all the time, I moved on from football, but I'm never gonna forget what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, one thing that's really tough for me personally is like Ben, you retired. And, I ended up telling you sorry for what I said before, but, you retired but you might have wanted to play longer, or not. While other guys get to retire, they get to play longer or they get to have another shot. You know what I'm saying? Like if you tear your ACL, you get to go back out there and at least see if you're good enough. Like if you want to go play catch with your kids, at least see if you're good enough. Like the thing that really hurts me still to this day is like, I never got to really step back on the football field and actually try.
Man.
So it was really tough for me. And so talking to somebody about all those little things, I think is going to help me out.
That's awesome. Good for you. And anyone out there that feels they don't need it or doesn't want to do it or doesn't think it's manly enough or whatever it is, seek help, man.
Yeah, definitely seek
help. And there's lots of reasons to potentially need help. But because for the longest time, your goal was to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that. We knew it. You knew it. Mm-hmm. At kind of a twofold. At what point was it, okay, it's not going to happen? And then what was that like?
So
what was that reality?
The day that I actually retired was like when it actually hit me. But I was thinking about it before, and I kept trying, and I was getting to the point where I was very close. But it was just certain movements I couldn't do. And then I could see even if I got close to where I was at, I was not going to be able to reach back to where I was at. Like just the explosiveness, just the movement, like the knowledge of the game. But it was to a point where it's like, hey, if I'm going to play football again, I can't imagine myself going out there and putting out a product that I can't see myself being.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question, is if you could have played but been like 70% Ryan, would you have done that still?
So I remember Coach Tomlin told me before. He was like, "Hey, we'll take an 85% right."
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
You at 75% is better than most. There's no doubt.
Still,
but it doesn't matter what that is. It's could you handle that?
To me, like, say if that'll have been tough. I think because I think I would have tried, and then I would have went out there
Some point.
and then seen like, all right, man, people are constantly passing me up. People constantly like, and I'm trying my hardest. If that's the case, then it's like, yeah, it's time to call it quits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because to me personally, it's like I can't imagine playing a game that I love. And I tell people all the time, like dudes that's injured, dudes that's thinking about what they want to do. It was like, hey, you got to understand when it comes to football, high school, college, pro, you're always getting evaluated. So the moment you look any different than you want to look, you got to understand people are not looking at, hey, Ryan, you're hurt anymore.
Yeah.
They're looking at like, hey, you out here and you just dropped a pick.
Yeah.
Hey, you out here, you didn't make that tackle. And it's like it goes from, oh man, Ryan was one of the greatest players, and it's not even thinking about other people, but it's just like to like, man, we need to get this dude off the field. And I never want to be in a point where, oh, we need to get this guy off the field. You know, like so I think it would have been tough for me, you know, people passing me up and stuff like that.
And it's funny because I remember when Ryan was a rookie, it was funny because I especially when guys are on defense, and Ryan came in as like an instant like you knew he was special, right? You knew he was going to be a star, and so he was going against the first team offense right away. And so I would always have fun with young guys, like whether it's a DB, linebacker, or easier because I could I'd move with my eyes, or I'd look here, I'd do these like fun things, and Ryan was always really good, especially as a young guy. Like he had no problems coming up and being like, hey, what did you see? Why did you do this? What'd you just asking. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool for a young guy to come up to him. Because at that point I would have been 10, 11, 12, 13 years in the league, you know? Yeah. And he came right up and because he wanted to get better.
Yeah.
And so, but I would have so much fun with guys like Ryan because he's so good and instinctual that if he saw your eyes go like this, he was flying. I mean, he would get there so fast.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget one time I kind of gave Ryan this little look off and I went to throw it over his head. And I was like, oh, I got him. And I was so like excited because I was like, because I would tease guys sometimes, think about the outside backers drop into the flats, and I would just drop it over their head, and they
that's super annoying. When you jump in and it's right here,
you can't quite get it.
Yeah.
So
it's like you're trying to touch the top of it, you can't get it.
And they get so mad, and I would be laughing the ball just leave my hand, and I'd be laughing because I knew it was going to happen.
Yes.
And so anyway, this one time Ryan's a little different because he'd be in the middle of the field, right, roaming around, but he was so fast that I could move and have fun. It was fun for me to do those things because it would challenge me too. But this one time I went to throw it over his head, and I've never seen anybody jump so high. And he jumped up there and he intercepted. It might have been one-handed, but it didn't matter how. He jumped up, and I thought I had him. Yeah. And I'm like, I got him. And I'm like, and I remember, I can still see it because I saw it on film, and I think I sent it to my agent or something, and I was like, look at this dude. This dude is special.
He said, not today.
He's got a talent.
Not this
dude, and it was one of those ones where it felt like he was in the air forever. Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, he jumped too early. Oh no, he's still up there. Okay, maybe he's not going to come down anytime soon. And he came down with the ball, and I'm like, dude, it's going to be good.
That's awesome.
But that's all wrapping into if that dude couldn't do that, that would have been.
It would feel something type of way. And I don't feel weird because it's just that's just how I am. Because I remember I went to Ben before. And I was like, hey, Ben, you've been in the league for a long time. When you're compared to a young quarterback, I remember asking him this. I'm like, compared to a young quarterback and an older quarterback, when they're looking people off, what's in their mind? What are they thinking? He was like, all right, majority of veteran quarterbacks, initially they're going to look off you immediately. He's just they're going to hike the ball, look over here, they're not going over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so once he told me that, I was like,
I'm not biting.
I'm not biting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, no, he's.
I should have lied to him. Practice.
Every practice after that.
But the thing is, it helped me versus every other quarterback. So if I was playing a young quarterback, I'm like, oh, if he's looking over there, that's where he's going. Yeah. Unless it's somebody that's just something like a Brock Purdy or somebody that just shows out and you just don't expect it. You know what I'm saying? But majority of young quarterbacks, they're looking at who they're going to throw the ball to.
They have to.
You know, because they're not used to the pressure. They're not used to the game. They're not used to the speed.
Yeah.
So I remember Coach Tomlin used to get mad at me. He was like, Ryan, why are you breaking so hard on some stuff? And I'm like, yo, I'm just going off of knowledge that I got from Ben and just watching film.
Yeah.
Because once I see their head move, it's like it's not coming back.
Yeah.
But if it's like an older dude, it's like he move his head, I'm gonna bite it a little bit, but I'm like, you're probably coming back over here.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it helped me. It helped me out a lot, and to me, I felt like to be good at anything, you have to try to take knowledge from somebody. You know what I'm saying? And why not take knowledge from first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a pretty good resource.
But I give you credit, man, because it was, it's not easy to do that as a young dude, and you did it, and you took it, and you wanted to get better with it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I want to dive into this next beer here as we move this along.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, what are you going to say?
No,
mine wasn't important.
Mine's going to be longer.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just going to say I wanted to thank, because we're obviously hitting 3 beers, but there are a lot of other people that sent stuff in that we aren't necessarily trying on the show, but we have tried. We had a little get together last week, and we tried a lot of the beers. Thank you to Penn Brewery. You guys sent a bunch of stuff in. Rusty Rail, which I think we're going to get into at some point, I was told. And a lot of just fans sending stuff in. We appreciate y'all so much. Creekside, Tyler, everyone over there for supplying when I go over there and have to get the truck and fill it up with all the stuff. But no, just really thankful for all you guys for just watching the show. All our sponsors. No way, we don't have any sponsors.
Yeah, who's that, man?
But no, let's get into it. Let's definitely do another beer. Did you guys like this the chicken fried steak, by the way?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, it was really good.
It was awesome. I just got too much going on to eat it right now.
And anybody that whatever I say when it comes to beer, don't listen to my judgment.
Trust me, we have gone through that when there's beers that we just don't like.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, no offense to y'all, because y'all probably have some good stuff, but it's just not our taste.
Yes.
So
No, I'm saying, but I don't even know how to taste beer, so I just don't want y'all to
Neither
get
do
mad.
we.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to get mad at me because
No.
like
Please do not be fooled by the fact that we have a show where we do this. We have no idea what we're talking about, right? But I subscribe.
I'm an optimist.
Yeah, again, I subscribe to the notion, man. The best drink that you can have is the one you enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. So it really doesn't matter what you know, is if if you like it. So the last beer was sent in by listener Trent.
Yeah,
Trent sent that in.
Appreciate you, Trent.
He sent a great note that you can read
cool. Okay.
afterwards. Yeah. So thank you for that, Trent. That's awesome. We appreciate you. This one actually does not have a name attached to it, but you did mention the brewery. It is Rusty Nail Brewing.
Rusty Rail.
What'd I say?
Nail.
Yeah. Also, Ryan, I'm real good with these messing up words.
all right.
So
so it's good. You're good.
yeah. You can compile an entire podcast of just things I've messed up, and it would be an hour and a half long. Rusty Rail, excuse me. Brewing. It is based out of Mifflinburg, a small town in central Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh has always been one of our most loyal and supportive markets, so I'm guessing this is from Rusty Rail. Hence why we brewed Monster Imperial Hazy IPA for the Pittsburgh fan base, Fog Monster Hazy IPA.
From the Mon. Like
the Mon, yes. Yeah, they said the Fog Monster is their flagship, and Fool's Gold is a Imperial Peanut Butter Hefeweizen, and that's what we have.
I'm sorry?
You heard me, bud. Imperial Peanut Butter Hefeweizen.
No.
And we are walking right into it. Wait, it's not coffee.
Ashley's calling.
Hey, it's not coffee.
go.
No, it's not a stout.
She's home. She came back from Guatemala already.
To save you from this.
Oh my god.
So
you said there's peanut butter in it?
I don't know if there's peanut butter in it.
Oh, you can't. Oh, he said
I can't drink that one.
Oh, okay. Let me see if there's nuts. Let me see if there's nuts here.
It doesn't matter. Let's not mess.
Okay. Yeah.
It's called peanut butter or something.
Yeah. Let's skip that.
I could drink it, but I just
Let's do this.
Fine.
You and I will do it
Fine.
for the people.
I love peanut butter too, but I don't. There's no way I'm gonna like this.
This is a Hefeweizen though. You love Hefeweizen.
No, I don't.
But it's a Hefeweizen.
It is like.
Spence, what's a Hefeweizen?
I got you. I'll definitely nail this. It is a German style beer. Typically, it is tastes like bubble gum, as I think all of them taste like bubble gum. But it's typically a wheat beer, and whereas other beers are not. As you can tell by this amazing description of a Hefeweizen, I know exactly what I'm talking about. So this, I don't know how the Imperial Peanut Butter Hefeweizen is going to taste, but it's
Not good. There's no way.
Ben
So
tip-
people don't. So there's a beer called a stout. And it's usually like as dark as this thing right here.
Yeah.
And it's like coffee, licorice.
That's like Guinness.
Yes,
exactly.
but Guinness,
Yeah.
but Guinness is good. Most stouts are not. I don't like stouts at all, and so
Okay.
people think it's funny, so they send stouts in because I hate it.
Okay.
And so anything that, like, to me, it just this is not good.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, Ben.
I like
This
peanut
might
butter.
not be it.
This is not. Good.
I just smelled it.
But they deceive you with the color of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's a Hefeweizen. The IB, it's 8%. I got
Another one.
Yeah, geez. IBU is 18.
Good luck.
And I like peanut butter.
Yeah.
When did you realize you're allergic to peanuts?
when I was in
like early.
Yeah, like
my son is too. My son is the same one as you.
Yeah,
Seafoods and nuts.
Yeah, I've been.
Well.
How did you navigate living in South Florida with seafood?
So it was crazy. Like my dad would have like fish fries and everything.
Yeah.
And they would just send me to Burger King.
Amen.
My son says all the time, I wish I could have fish. It looks so good, or it smell, like sushi or whatever.
So I can technically eat it, like.
But why risk it?
No, so I recently took like an allergy test. You probably took deals before, and I took an allergy test, and they said that like I'm not allergic to seafood, I'm not allergic to nuts.
Word?
Right. And I was like, this is crazy. I've tried both of them, and then
maybe you grew out of it.
Yeah, I think I grew out of it, but so. Something like I'll eat, like I ate swordfish from our anniversary last year, I think it was. I ate swordfish for our anniversary, nothing happened. Really? I had like a sword from Off the Hook.
Yeah.
I had swordfish, like a swordfish pasta, nothing happened. Then we went to Nemacolin. I had like lobster. I could eat shrimp. I actually like shrimp. But the thing is like I've also had times where I eat it and I'll flare up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like.
Why risk it, dude?
Yeah, I'm not risking it.
Yeah, why risk it?
So,
interesting.
Yeah,
but like I can eat almonds and stuff like that, but it's like I've went my whole life and I'm doing fine.
Yeah, man.
So why try it now?
Exactly. Yeah, that's no need to roll the dice on that. We'll
Two
dive
options
into
are going to
this.
happen here. Two things are going to happen. I feel like I'm going to spit this out.
Okay.
Or it's not going to be that bad.
Spit that way.
Anyway, but towards your cameras.
So I'll say this: I think
it smells like a peanut butter bubble gum.
I think you're gonna hate it at first,
probably,
and then on the back end, it's either gonna be bad then good or good then bad. Because listen, Rusty Rail sent a bunch
of different things. Yeah, thank you, Rusty Rail.
I grabbed the one that I thought
I would love.
Yeah, dude.
Sure.
I grabbed the one with the weirdest name. That's what I had to do.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. I see what I like over there. It's a tequila bottle.
That's all you done.
I can drink that.
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, he don't like it.
He said he don't like it. What is it?
Wow.
Was it good then bad or bad then good? It's just bad.
It was never good. But it wasn't bad early. It was acceptable early. And then it kind of tailed off into something that was just unusual.
Yeah.
I would not want to drink. Like, I'm going to finish this and be done.
Yeah. So it said it should taste like peanut butter and banana. And they said you won't taste anything like it. And go Steelers.
I agree. Yes, I definitely tasted the banana as well.
You taste the peanut butter?
No, I mean, I taste more banana.
That's not it. That's not it for me. I taste the banana, which is not what I want to taste when I'm drinking a beer. I think you smell the peanut butter.
I don't taste peanut butter in it.
You don't, but that's not. Listen, I can't wait to try your other stuff, Rusty Rail.
Yeah, I'm okay with that one. I'll give the rest of those ones away that you sent in of the peanut butter.
Yeah, that's not it for me.
We'll give those to Brendan.
Brendan loves peanut butter Hefeweizens.
He definitely does. Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Okay. All right, cool.
That's a 3. It's a 3.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen, I'll drink that over a stout all day.
Really?
All day.
No way, dude.
All day. I did that. Did you see the face?
Yeah, no, I know.
I didn't give you the face.
You walk right through that like a man.
Yeah. I know, and so I can do that compared to the stout. Yep, I can do it.
So I want to ask y'all a question. I don't drink beer, but which one is better? Coors, Miller, a Heineken, or Budweiser?
Like, what's the best domestic?
Like, yeah, if you was just like, all right, I'm going to the grocery store, and I'm like, I'm about to grab a beer. Which one are you grabbing?
Well,
so if it's light beer, I like Miller Lite better than Coors Light and then Bud Light, but I like Coors Banquet better than all of them.
Amen.
So Coors Banquet, so like Bud Light, Bud Heavy. Coors Banquet would be like Coors Heavy to Coors Light.
Tastes delightful.
Yeah, that one's
you like Natty Light?
Yeah.
That's what y'all drank at Ohio State?
Yeah, when I was 21 years old, I did. Yeah.
It depends. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I love. Gosh, it's hard because I've grown so much. Like, I like Yingling a lot.
Oh yeah, Yinglings.
I love Yinglings.
So like, what's the difference between that and those?
And what these?
No, not those.
Oh, like the light beer. So Yinglings, it's like what is it, an amber ale is what they call it. So it's just a little bit more rich.
Lager, right?
Is it?
I think it's a lager.
Yeah, I don't
Amber lager.
Yeah, amber lager.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. So it's a little bit more rich. It's a little bit more flavorful, full-bodied. I don't know if we have like wines and you could tell like some are more full-bodied. Yeah. The domestic like light beers that you get are just kind of like watered down. They each have their distinctive flavor. It's just not super enjoyable.
Once you drink, like I've gotten so much more into like these what they call craft beers, which are not mass produced like the other ones are.
But Yuengling is, right?
Yuengling is, yes. Yuengling is a mass, but that's what I thought you were asking me, like for those, like yes. Look, I like Corona Light. Like I'll drink any of those, but to me, after drinking like craft beers, they taste like watery. Like if I was going to sit around a fire all night, like I'm gonna drink these. But if it's like, okay, we're gonna be having beers like golfing and doing stuff, like I'm gonna probably have one of those because it's not as strong and you can just kind of enjoy it. Or whatever.
So like do you have a Yuengling here I could try?
I do have a Yuengling. Of course I have a Yuengling here.
I'll try that because I've only tried like Coors and all.
Do you have a favorite of those?
So no,
they're all the bad.
You like Coors Light?
No, okay. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I just don't like.
You don't like beer.
I'm just not a beer guy. But like I've had beer and it was a cider you said, but it was still. I thought it was beer. You know what I'm saying?
Cider's good. Cider's beer. Yeah.
You know, so like that was good. So like. It might be a beer that I like. I just don't know it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that you'll like the Yuengling. I mean, Yuengling is good. I don't know that you'll like it. Like you'll like it like
it won't taste. It won't taste like your typical domestic.
I know it's not gonna taste like a cider.
Yeah, not like a cider, but it won't. I don't think it'll taste like a typical domestic. But I think it might remind you of those. The way because it's not super flavorful like one of these that it won't taste like that at all. You know what I mean? So, but you might like it.
Yeah, but I have one. We'll get you one.
I'll try it out. Yeah.
We'll get you one with when the next food comes down. We'll get you one of those when you try the last beer. Okay.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, I did have a question. It's a little bit more serious after we talking about just random beer facts.
No, you're good.
But you'd mentioned a couple of times that you had regarded yourself as one of the best players in the league. And which I think the entire fan base would agree with you on that. But I was curious, man, and feel free not to answer this if you don't want to. As you're going into this journey with starting therapy, what has it been like to be able to identify yourself as this phenomenal, great, just the gnarliest dude on the field player, and then having that taken from you, as you're saying, not having that chance to see if you can do it again, and then how has that mentally been for you to make that transition to see, on how you see yourself?
I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the reasons that I'm going to therapy because, like, to me, I feel like everything I'm doing, I love what I'm doing. Like I love my podcast. Like I'm part owner of a gym. I have a marijuana strain that's out. I have my foundation. Like I have a lot of stuff that's going on. I have a trucking company. Like I enjoy everything I do. And I love everything I do. But I don't have the same passion for none of the stuff like I had when it came to football.
Sure.
Like I'm getting into broadcasting as well, and I love all that stuff. But it's just the passion is not like it was for football, and I literally pour my heart out into football. So sometimes it's really tough for me some days to wake up and it's like, obviously besides like my family and stuff, it's like, yo, what is my purpose today?
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not trying to say football, like I know I'm more than a football player, but like people always say that, but to me it's very hard to transition when like everybody always say, the next play might be your last play.
Sure.
And I feel like I prepared and practiced and everything for it. But I feel like when you actually get there even if you did everything for it, it's still hard. So like some days it's really tough for me, just figuring out like who Ryan Shazier is. Yeah. Like, is Ryan Shazier a motivational speaker today? Is he gonna be a motivational person today? Is Ryan gonna be a leader today? Like some days it's hard for me to see myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like therapy is going to definitely help me with that. And I think a lot of people fail to realize like you can be successful and still have a hard time trying to find yourself.
Brother, say that, man. Awesome. Dude, I think that is amazing on multiple accounts. I don't want to take too much time on it because I know there's some other stuff we want to talk about, but I just want to encourage you, brother, because I think obviously your journey to walking and to get you where you are today physically it will inspire people for all time. As long as there's people, that story is going to inspire people. But what you just said here about a successful man struggling to find purpose, that's every human ever.
Yeah.
All of us wake up with that like, hey, what are we doing today? Who am I? What was I designed to do? How do I do that? and still be able to exist on this day-to-day, because you still got to go to work and pay your bills, and maybe those aren't lining up, your purpose and what you got to do to pay your bill. So how do I get to this thing where I can live a life filled with fulfillment? And so I just want to encourage you, man, as God has you on this journey of doing that, as you're going in therapy, man, I will continue to pray for you, brother, in that journey, the same way that I have been praying for me in my journey. I'm like, hey, man, who is Spence today? We're all doing that, man, and God's giving you a certain platform and spotlight to be able to encourage the rest of us on how you're doing that part of your journey, and that is just as important, if not more, I would say, as the journey we've already watched you walk through and conquer.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, brother.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's cool.
That's huge, man. I would like to talk about some football coming out of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got the draft coming up this week.
That's
I
a
don't
big
know.
one.
I think we got to at least. I'm sure the fans would love to hear a little bit about what we think. How I would ask you this: how I don't want to say knowledgeable because that's not the right word, but how into the Steelers were you last year? Are you in terms of what their needs are? Because I know you said you want to get into broadcasting.
I know exactly. Like I know the Steelers, like basically ins and out.
There you go. So you'll have thoughts on the draft and what you think.
So the thing is, I know things that I feel like they need, but then I also I'm very close with Kevin too, and I don't know if he's doing anything with the draft, but like me and him talked a while ago, and I was like, yeah, man, I think it'll be like good if the team draft some old lineman or something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
And then he was just like, Ryan, if you actually think at like if you looked at like, because most people don't pay attention, most people just go off of what other people say, right? And at the beginning of the season, the O-line they didn't play well at the beginning of the season, but the second half of the season they played extremely well. Yep. So I think they had to really learn each other, and like about O-linemen better than I do, but I also know with defense, if you just plug and play people in the defense is going to be terrible. And with O-line, it's like, hey, it may take some time to build chemistry if we can figure each other out. There was some new pieces in there. So at first I was like, hey, we need to get an O-lineman. If a particular O-lineman slides to us, I think we should take it. Like if a top 5 O-lineman just slides all the way to 19, I think that's when you like, hey, best available. But me personally, I think the biggest position that we probably need right now is probably like a cornerback or a linebacker.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so that's what I'd like to just kind of hit some of what I think, because I'm probably not as knowledgeable in the sense that I'm not as in depth and all that stuff because I don't talk to Kevin about that kind of stuff.
So I haven't talked to him recently.
No, I know, but it's okay because I would say the same thing. Like I would say, okay, if I'm looking at it, what do I think needs to happen, and so positions of potential need. I would just in no particular rank of order. I think corner is a potential one, right?
Yeah,
you've got Pat Pete, which would be huge having a veteran guy in there, 100%. Right? And then is it Levi Walsh on the other side, who I thought was a good
he did good. He did a good
pick last year. I think I hurt a little bit in there, but I think he's a good opposite side.
Yeah.
But do you want to bring a guy in that can
shut down the
really play? I mean, I think there's some guys out there. I think there's and I did actually just look into it, but the kid from Illinois, Witherspoon, good talent, tough.
He's gonna go before we.
I know he's gonna be. I know that's what I'm saying. But I'm just the top corners, right? Him, the Gonzalez kid from Oregon,
he's good too.
Really good player, right? Size, speed, length. The Banks kid from Maryland, not your biggest, but like tested through the roof, right? Plus he's got the Maryland connection with Tomlin with Dino going. I know Dino transferred, but Mike might know who he is.
Yeah, he know who he is.
And so he's got that, and then obviously Joey Porter Jr. Which I think that's kind of the one that everyone anticipates coming there. I think Joey, in my opinion, of those guys, is probably the most plug and play ready.
Yeah.
And I think that he, the Steelers like to play man.
Yeah.
Man or 3, like something where you got to get hands up and do
we're
stuff.
matching a lot.
And I think he's got the potential to do that, right? He's long. He's, he's physical. He can press. So to me, I think that's a guy that could, if corner is your position that you want to go first, I think that's your spot to go.
So to me, Joey. I think Joey would be the pick, obviously, as well. In my honest opinion, I love Joey to death, and I think he should go here. If it's like Joey or like Witherspoon or Gonzalez, I think they will go with Witherspoon or Gonzalez.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't think either one of those guys will be there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I don't know either. That's just my 2 cents on the corner position. I also wonder, like, what about D-line? I don't know. I'm not saying first round, but I think they should address it.
No, they definitely need to address D-line.
Because obviously you have Cam, who is still doing things at a high level. I thought Larry Ogunjobi, sorry, I can't say that, played really well last year. I thought he did some great things. I just wonder what else. You have some young guys that are plugging, but what else are you doing there? Right, so you gotta address that early, in my opinion.
So to me,
unless there's someone in there that I don't know about, like I said, I don't know the team as well as other people.
Yeah, so like I don't know like about like their D line, and I agree. Like I don't know how good the D, like how much they want to add to the D line, because with them giving Larry a contract, would you want to bring a new guy in if you just gave somebody a contract? But to me, I love the 2 pickups at linebacker we have, but the one thing that I've noticed that the Steelers have done extremely well. Since I've been here, before I've been here, the inside linebacker position is a position that they normally do well at when they build somebody through the draft, or like build somebody, like they build them out. Because, like for instance, Landon Roberts and Holcomb, I think both of them would be phenomenal, but they had different roles at other teams. So what I'm saying here is sometimes the Steelers ask a lot of you at linebacker. So when you're like a young pup and it's like Coach Tomlin is like, hey, go guard AB, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to guard AB. You know, like that's you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously, I knew like he's not asking everybody to do that. But like the situations is like, all right, sometimes the linebackers have to cover, you know, a little bit more than other places. Some other places they only play cover 3 or they only do certain things. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do get a linebacker early too, but I just don't see them getting a linebacker in the first round.
Yeah, I don't think first round is your move for inside linebacker either, because that's a position, like you said, that you can get someone maybe later. What do you think about that kid at Iowa? Do you like that kid at Iowa? Is it Jack Campbell or something?
Yeah, he's good. He's a really good player.
He's the only one I know that I've actually heard of an inside linebacker.
Yeah, but like I said, like with those, we gave 2 guys contracts in the offseason, so I think if both of them pan out, one could be like the Thunder, one could be the Lightning. I think that could be well for us. But we got to have some stability because in the middle of our defense. Because we have stability in the middle of the defense, I think it would do well. But I think Joey would be a good fit. I think we need to go linebacker. Me personally, I think it's Joey. Then we need to go linebacker at least second round, D lineman third, and then probably like we have 2 second rounders. So, you know, probably, you know, DB, probably linebacker, and then a D lineman, 2 in the second round, then in the third round you get an O lineman.
Okay.
But that's my honest opinion.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised they get an O lineman early too. So.
Okay. Well, let's talk. Once we get this thing from Evan, then we're going to talk about some offensive stuff. What we got from Ohio State?
What is this?
From
Columbus.
There's a hot dog place there that had a whole bunch of different kinds of hot dogs, and I picked one that was pretty unique. And
okay.
All right.
It's called the Ohio hot dog.
Hot dog.
And it's got like a sweet and spicy corn relish on it.
All right.
So it's something different, unique, and I figured, it's almost
just like the Ohio State Buckeyes, different, unique.
Yes.
Hey, I you know what's so crazy is I actually had an Ohio State shirt on the whole day, Ohio State jacket, and I was about to wear it, and I was
could
like,
have blurred him, right?
Yeah, definitely. We would have sent that out.
and I was about to wear it, and I was like, I know Ben hates Ohio State, so I was just like, I'm not gonna wear it today.
That's thoughtful. That's thoughtful.
That's funny. Well, as you're digging into that, I'm going to give my 2 cents. I think that I think they'll add a quarterback at some point. I think you need to have a third guy, whether that's a late draft guy, whatever. Not important. I'm just kind of going through positions. I think tight end.
I think so as well.
They'll have to add. I'm glad. Big shout out to Zach Gentry.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have Zach back. Zach's awesome. Obviously, you got Pat and Zach kind of work together. I could see them adding a tight end at some point if there's one they really like late.
But we already have 3 tight ends though.
Yeah, you got Connor Hayward, who's
okay. So I was going to mention that. Here's what I was going to say. I think they love Connor. I think they love what he can do because he can do the running back thing if you need him to. Mm-hmm. He can do a little fullback thing. He can do the tight end thing. But he's not a true one of any of them.
Yeah, he's not.
So I think that they have to. So I'm not saying that they will, but I just think I could see them doing something like maybe they just bring someone in as a later guy to to do something with, because I think they're going to try and find a role for Connor, a bigger role, because he's very talented.
No, he is talented.
And I think rather than have him, because I think he's a jack of all trades, and I don't know what his mastery is yet, right? Jack of all trades, master of what?
That literally was in my head when you were saying he does all the other.
He does it all. So let's see if there's, maybe instead of having to do 4 or 5 things, let's see if he can do like 3 things, like next level type stuff. Right.
But as devil's advocate, if you have Pat and Zach, do you need another one that? Would you want a jack of all trades if you already have those 2 dudes?
No, so what I'm saying is, me personally, I think it would be good to get another tight end for blocking purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Like Zach is good at blocking. I love Pat to death. That is not his strength.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be. You don't want him to block. Really.
Yeah, he's like one of the best tight ends in the league. You don't want him blocking. So
and I don't know, and it's just lack of film study. I don't know how good Connor is at blocking.
Yeah, I don't either.
So I don't know that. I know Connor's a big special teams guy too. Mm-hmm. So there's another potential risk of putting him out there a lot and doing stuff. So I'm not saying it needs to happen. I'm just saying that's just a thought in my head that they might add someone at some point. Running back, they're set. They don't need anybody running back. Wide receivers, I think, obviously with Deontay, with George, and with adding Allen, I thought was big.
Yeah, that was big.
If he can stay healthy. I know he's coming off of an injury, but that'll be huge. Those are 3 studs.
I think people don't understand how big of an impact that Allen is about to make for this team.
I think it could be huge. I think it could be huge.
Because a lot of people fail to realize, me personally, I know Allen a little bit, but I think the reason that they struggle a little bit in LA is because Allen he thrives at like the slot, and a lot of people don't know that, but he played the slot in Jacksonville, he played the slot in Chicago, but he would go outside, but he played the slot as well. And I think with Cooper Kupp in the slot, you can't put him at the slot, and I think. We don't like Deontay's outside receiver and George is outside receiver. So I think if him in the slot, that's a big body slot.
Yeah.
And you have,
there's no doubt.
So we're going to have, if you think about it, we're going to have 3 big body receivers out there for Kenny at all times. Then you got Deontay. Because if you think about Pat, Allen, and George,
Yeah, to me, you have to add someone there. You can't go into a season with 3 wide receivers. I would say this: Anthony Miller, who was injured last year, is a guy that I think has a lot of potential, a lot of upside coming off the injury. Because at wide receiver, if you only have 3 guys, you got to have something else.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So is it going to be Anthony? Are they going to? I could see them getting someone late round, 4th, 5th round.
What about Calvin?
Yeah, I was gonna say what happened. Like I know he got injured early, Calvin Austin.
But I know they say he was really good, Calvin Austin.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
Yeah, he was like the 3rd round pick last year, a 4th round pick.
Yeah, but he got injured early.
He ran a 4.2
and was out all last year.
He ran like a 4.26 or something like that. 4.2, no, not 4.26, but 4.2.
But just because you run fast doesn't mean you're going to be good. What was the kid for the Bengals? That was the fastest guy that's not even playing anymore?
No, but
3 years ago?
That was me. You said the fastest guy?
Sauce Gardner, before he got to the NFL, said that Calvin was the best receiver he ever went against.
It's high praise.
Well, it is, but got to get on the field.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
So, yeah, like I said, I don't know the team as well, so forgive me for not mentioning him, but if I haven't seen you on the football field, I can't talk about you.
No,
but I mean, listen, you are the person to make that point. You know what I mean?
I could see them adding somebody late, and then I think the most interesting spot is line.
Yeah.
I think there was some reports today of the team talk about trading up to try and get one of these tackles. And I think, there's the kid Johnson from Ohio State.
Paris is good.
The kid from Northwestern, the kid Jones from Georgia, Wright from Tennessee, Harrison from Oklahoma. There's a bunch of really good tackles in there. My question is, obviously it's going to be a left tackle because you want to protect Kenny because Kenny's your long-term investment. I get that. I love Dan Moore Jr. I do. I love Dan. I played with Dan for 1 year, and I wish I could have played with Dan longer. Dan's got heart. Dan's got a passion, and I've always said I will take a guy that is less talented that has more heart than a guy that's super talented with less heart. I'll take it all day. I had guys that would go out there that, Willie Colon, Trey Essex, Chris Kiyamatsu, guys that maybe weren't the most, Darnell Stapleton, that maybe weren't the most highly recruited, highly touted, highly drafted, but they had more heart than anybody that you ran into, and they were going to block their butts off because they were going to protect their quarterback.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about that when it comes to a lineman.
No, I respect it, yeah.
So I like Dan. Now, Dan got thrown. That left tackle is a tough spot. You're going to get some studs.
You're going to get some dogs.
And I get it. But it's his second year. And like you said, a lot of the lines struggled last year. The whole offense struggled early. And they're only going to get better. They're going to understand Matt Canada's offense more. They're going to understand Kenny Pickett better in there, what he's going to do. I think we'll see big growth from Dan Moore this year. I don't know that now's the time to knock him down. I think if you want to go get a tackle, if you're going to trade up and go get one in the first, then you got to play him. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
You got to play him.
Maybe Dan becomes your swing guy. But I just think he's too talented to sit on the bench. But again, that's just my 2 cents from what I've seen in 1 year. That I like the way he is. I'd like to see him this year be the starting left tackle. So, but I don't know. They haven't traded up since Devin, I think, was the last time they traded up to get somebody.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be interesting this week to see what they decide to do. I don't know.
It's crazy when you look back at it that Chase pick ended up being basically a first round pick. That trade.
Yeah.
And to me, like you could already see the differences in like GMs already in just like little things. Like some of the trades. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's just crazy. Just like you see, because like Kevin was not really big on trading. Like I don't think ever. So like he didn't trade at all. So like and then we've already made 2 trades in a year.
Yeah. It definitely seems like a culture shift.
Yeah, so and the thing is like, hey, if we still keep and I think the Rooney's will definitely do that, but keep the structure of how they build a team through the draft and keep it that way, I think
Go ahead and flip to the wide, Spence.
No, man.
Flip to the wide.
Ryan, what were you saying? You had a really good point.
This happens. It seems like it's happening more and more frequently.
Brother, you pick these beers up.
Are we not going wide all of a sudden?
This wide. I give it to the people.
You need to get the mop?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get the mop. I'm sorry to cut you off like that, Ryan.
No, you're good.
Whoever sent this in.
He's messing up these hardwood floors, man.
It's not the first time. Alexis, it's all done. This was a plot against me. It's dented. It's all shook up. I opened the thing and
it's been in the fridge. It's been sitting over there for the last.
Then I have to blame you, my brother. I feel like your transportation from wherever your truck to that fridge.
Tyler at Creekside shook it?
Yeah, Tyler at Creekside done shaking these beers up.
This is my first time ever had a hot dog with corn on it.
Me too.
It was good.
It was actually good, though.
I did not mind it. What I do mind is, jeez, dude.
Yeah. If my wife actually watched the episodes
she would be so upset.
You spill everywhere every week,
she would be so upset.
She'd be so mad at you.
Yeah. Sorry, Ash. I'm cleaning it up, though.
She said hi, by the way, guys.
That's what we said.
Did she? Hey, Ash. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was rude of me. Continue. I was trying to get something prepared for us as we,
Go ahead, Spence.
Do you know any of the, like, not know any of them, but have you seen any of the guys coming up in the draft?
No, I know nothing.
All right.
Like know of them or just watch them?
Like know of them, like.
I love college football, so I watch it.
Do you think that the Bijan Robinson kid is going to be as good as advertised?
So I don't know who that is.
Yes.
Who's that?
So he's the running back from Texas.
From Texas?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about him. I didn't watch much Texas this year, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, you watch
running backs are so hard. Yeah. Running back is so hard. First round running back because you can get really good running backs in the second, third round.
Yeah.
And they get beat up so bad. Is he big?
He's like 2 something.
Like thick, like a big. Because you got to be solid. Like the guys that last.
He's not like Najee. He's not that big.
See, the guys that last are the Adrian Petersons.
He's more like Saquon.
Well, I think Saquon, he got hurt and whatever. He's doing, he's bouncing back, doing great things, but. Yeah, running backs are just tough. They did that position is a hard position. So I don't know. I can't speak on because I don't know enough about him. And even if I compliment him, Bob Griffin will find a way to turn it around negatively. But so I'm not even going to compliment him. But
I was actually about to write him back on Twitter because he didn't use the whole thing.
Yeah, use the whole thing, right? It was nothing but a compliment. I respect Lamar. Lamar is an absolute freak, and he is a game changer.
Right.
And all I said was, people are more scared of his legs than his arm. Mm-hmm. I've sat in meetings where we've had a game plan, and no one ever said, "Hey, get him out of the pocket."
No, man. You know
what was it? Keep him in the pocket.
No, you only played him twice a year for his entire career. I don't know that you know.
It was like I bashed him.
I've definitely been in those meetings, and
I guarantee 31 out of 31 meetings, because I was telling Spence this when we were talking about it. I've been in meetings, which you have too, where it's like, when you're facing like a Brady or a Manning, where it's like, hey, disrupt the pocket, right?
Get him off his spot.
Get him off his spot.
Yeah.
With Lamar.
You want to keep him on the spot.
You want to keep him in there because he is more dangerous. And not saying he's not dangerous in there, but he is more dangerous out there.
Yeah,
it's like, I just said, and listen, I got so much respect for Lamar. So I'm not trying to make this a big deal, but I got respect for Lamar, what he can do. So it was just one guy taking it. Like, his QBR is better than mine in the pocket. Sure, that's fine. Whatever. I wasn't even talking about that. I was comparing him to me.
I think he's a faster runner than you two.
I think so sometimes. Only if I'm going downwind, downhill, and he's uphill, I might have a shot. Keep it close.
Let's get you guys lined up. Run a 40.
I'd heard something just lining up.
Because I tell people all the time, and to me, like, obviously right now he's the greatest quarterback of the generation, so I'm not about to say anything bad. But and I'm about to say about Mahomes. Mahomes is an improviser, like the ultimate improviser. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like that's how young Ben was. Ben was a improviser. And the thing is with Mahomes, I think that the more you allow him to move around,
scary.
The more scary he is.
It's scary when he's in the pocket. It's more scary when he's out of the pocket.
Yeah, which is what you were saying.
Yeah. But differently for him, where Lamar, when he gets out of the pocket, he's so far downfield so fast.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But Patrick is getting out of the pocket, still looking to throw for the most part.
And it's 50 yards.
Yes, and it's unbelievable. So, it's there's no dig or diss when you say, hey, listen, this dude's dangerous. But he's more dangerous doing this.
And you say he didn't have the weapons either.
They just added the guy. I mean,
that was the point of the conversation.
I think at one point, didn't I compare us at one point? Oh no, I didn't compare us at all. So
no, that was the internet.
Oh, that was Bob G.
Yeah, no, but that was the more frustrating, and we can move on. We don't have to dwell on it. But that was more frustrating for me outside looking in on it. I was like, dude, I personally know, because you and I have had conversations without these things running, how much respect you actually have for Lamar. Like, Ravens week was a big deal. It's like,
huge deal.
Ravens week, not just because of the rivalry, because 8 is not to be played with.
Yeah.
He's a game changer.
So I thought it was funny.
And when I'm not playing against him, he's fun to watch.
He's a dynamic football
player.
He's a freak of nature. He is an absolute freak of nature. How does he do the things he does?
He starts running, and I'm like, oh, no, he's not going to. Oh, no, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he ran away from that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he made that. When he goes up the middle sometimes, and it's literally like, it reminds me of, like, I remember watching Mike Vick in his prime. When Mike Vick had that one run at home, gosh, I don't remember who it was against. Mike, I love you. You're so old, I can't remember. But he had that one run at home. Might have been even overtime. Something at the end of the game. And it was one of those ones where he just, like, ran away from everybody. And it was like, holy cow. Like, it's just different.
It's
different.
It's, like,
so fun.
Like, people
guys like you have that speed. I never had that speed.
Like, Lamar's fast, man. It's just,
you could have caught him?
Oh, man. I don't want to go.
With a good angle?
Woulda, coulda. Because the thing is,
they'll tear you apart.
The one thing I would say is I wouldn't be surprised if I got close, but I wouldn't be, like, I don't know. Like, in the open field, if I had an angle on him, it still probably be tough to tackle him because it just if he has that much space, it's ridiculous. So
I feel like he can stop on a dime too, man. It's unreal.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so these are stouts.
These are not stouts. This is this tastes better when it's in the cup and not on the bar. This is from a brewery called Brew Hub. Excuse me. It's Brew Hub. It's called Diver Down, and it is an Imperial Red Ale, and it's also 8%. All of these are 8%. I'll pass these down as I read these here. It says, Ben and Spence, enjoy the Diver Down.
I was actually thinking about like being part of this beer company, but it was gonna be like flavored beer.
Oh yeah. Like seltzers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like not seltzers though, but it was like a pineapple beer or like lemon beer or whatever. Like not lemon. I don't know. If lemon
Have you had? Were they good? Did you try some?
It was pretty straight. Like I said, it's better. Like I like flavored beers better. You know what I'm saying? But You know,
You like Mike's Hard Lemonade and Smirnoff.
I actually don't drink all that type of stuff.
Okay.
I just don't I'm really like a hard liquor guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
So.
It's a good gotcha.
Well,
All right,
yeah.
Spence,
Well,
finish it up. What's the
So Alexis, this is from Alexis Klum.
Alexis? Thank you, Alexis.
She
you,
says
Alexis.
she doesn't really love beer, but her dad does.
Oh,
and
it's one of his favorites?
Yeah, and her dad loves this stuff. Love the podcast.
Cheers, Mr.
I look
Klum.
forward to it each week. # here we go. And says, by the way, Spence, the beer bio is on the can. So thank you, Alexis, for hooking
What if
me
it
up.
would have said? I would have loved if it would have said, "Hey, Spence, don't spill this when you open it."
That
They're gonna start saying that from now on.
No,
you know
they've
that, right?
definitely done that. They've already done that. You should start sending in paper towels because I'm running through them. So I'll read a quick bio.
All right, give me the bio.
It's a full-bodied imperial red ale. Our brewmaster starts with caramel malt, then adds an impressive amount of hops to give Diver Down a beautiful balance. The result is a big, rich, malty beer with a snappy hop finish. Pour Diver Down into a glass or on the floor, and you'll see a deep ruby hue and a thick collar of foam. And it's perfect reward after a full day of work or play.
Okay.
Diver Down. Here we go. What do we think?
Oh.
What'd you get there?
Caramel. A lot of caramel.
I
Heavy
definitely
caramel.
I definitely taste that.
Heavy caramel.
Heavy caramel up
Heavy
front.
caramel. I don't like the tail end of it. I don't like.
Okay.
The mouth finish is not. I don't know that I could drink a full one.
That the back end is the alcohol content. If
No,
it wasn't
yeah.
if it wasn't 8%, it wouldn't hit like that. I don't think, because it kind of lingers.
Yeah, but it's but it's
Alexis,
a lot stronger tasting than the other ones were 8 and they didn't taste like
this
that.
one, yeah. Alexis's dad just might be like,
He's a hard
oh,
man.
he's a man, man.
He's a
like
man,
us.
man.
He's a man's man.
I don't listen.
We
I
might.
was gonna say I don't hate it.
It's not bad.
And hate is not. I'm not gonna hate it.
The Stone Cold Steve Austin one is better to me.
Yeah, the Stone Cold Steve Austin was the winner for tonight.
I need just a little.
Do you think?
number here.
Do you think we should set up like a wrestling match with all the head brewers and Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yes,
See who wins.
100%.
I don't know how we would go about that, but that would be awesome. Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good. Yeah, at 8% with that, I don't know that I'm hanging out on that though. Like,
No,
if you're
it's
coming
not
over,
worth the it's not-
bonfire.
no,
like, I got stuff to do tomorrow.
It's heavy caramel. I mean, the caramels. It's not like, but it's not like a sweet caramel.
Yeah, like you taste like I was like it's syrupy or something. Like
Yes,
it's-
that's
yeah,
a great
yeah,
way.
there you go.
Syrupy.
So you're a beer
Look at you, dude. Yeah, look at you. An hour and a half in.
Hey,
He's a trained professional.
yeah, like I if I was to drink one like a whole can, it would be the Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah, no
So how would you rate it out of 10?
So if I gave Stone Cold Steve Austin an 8,
Yeah.
I'm giving this 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably there too.
Yeah.
4.5.
I'll co-sign the 5. I think that's like, hey, you know what? I did not hate it. It was good. If you're like, yo, Spence, I want you to try this because I'm really excited about it. I'll drink it and tell you it's good, and then I won't have another one.
Okay, so what are you saying? 6?
I'll co-sign the 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
Yeah, the 5's
Yeah.
Somebody asked me what did I think, I would just say that was a very average beer.
I feel like that's the kind that in the morning you're gonna wake up with like bad burps and bad
Yeah.
or like if you're sitting on the fire. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, that's nasty.
I'm telling you right
What are
now.
drinking? That's
Yeah,
nasty.
you're gonna need a bottle of water with every one of those you drink. It's gonna
100%.
dehydrate you quick.
Yeah, he's a man.
Yeah.
That
He's
guy's
a real man.
He's a
He's got a
real man.
cowboy hat on too.
So just a heads up, I just want to let you guys know, thank you for all this wonderful food.
Yeah.
I just got my wisdom teeth removed 3 days ago.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
How are you eating?
I just cleaned them out, like the holes in my mouth.
You got your
You
wisdom
could have
teeth.
not eaten.
You
No,
got
but the thing is, I'm hungry, so. No, it doesn't hurt or nothing.
when I got my wisdom teeth out, brother, I was out of commission
like-
for a week.
High school, I think.
Really?
Well, mine were impacted, so they were like kind of sideways.
Oh yeah, that's how my brothers were. But mine were. There's nothing wrong with them. Dr. Golly just basically said, "Hey, you should get them out." So I got 3 of them taken out at the same time.
Like 3 days ago,
Yeah.
Good for you.
he's out here eating Sammys and hot dogs. Like,
Congratulations. By the way, your wife's Cuban is upstairs. Don't forget it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I remember that.
Anything? Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, let's land this
Is there
plane.
anything like what's Ryan doing now? You've talked about a bunch of things. Foundation or what would you like to? We got a podcast.
All right, so
Tell us some stuff.
So what Ryan is doing right now, I have a few things going on. Because I was actually about to like, hey, should I wear one of the shirts that I'm, like one of the hoodies that I'm doing? And I was like, I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing right now. So,
we could have just like every time we went to the camera, like had a different shirt on.
Yeah, I know, right? Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah.
Do that, or just you start getting patches. You start putting patches like
tell us some stuff.
So obviously, I have Don't Call It a Comeback through Wondery. So it's a podcast with Dave Demashek. You know who that is? So me and him have a podcast together. He's a homer. He loves him from Pittsburgh. He loves him from Pittsburgh. But it's awesome because we talk about everything. So then I also have my fund. So my fund helps individuals with spinal cord injuries, and I really enjoy it because just all the support that you gave me, the Steelers gave me, the city of Pittsburgh gave me. And, just people around the world, they constantly just show love. And I just want to provide that same support to people. So we have we actually having 2 events come up. So one is Ben is coming to the golf outing. Yes.
Golf event coming up.
Him and little Ben.
My son, yep.
And
he still talks about the $100 we were supposed to win last year.
So we have a golf outing this year at Allegheny, which is going to be fun.
Nice.
And then I also have another event, and it's called the Run for Black and Gold. It's actually 2 weeks after, and and I'm gonna invite you next year to that one.
It's a run.
No, we don't run.
We talked about Ben's running.
So we don't run. So basically, it's actually a really cool event. If you want to just come just to watch it for the first year, I'll let you know.
Great bike rider.
I'll give you
electric bike.
It's no run. It's no run. So it's called the Run for Black and Gold. So, but basically, it's an event that's tailored after the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, that's tight.
So it's a 50-50 raffle. Okay. But the way the raffle works is like, say, I'll be a jockey, Cam is a jockey, you'll be a jockey, right? And we have like these fake cardboard horses, So and then like,
I'm already loving this.
Yeah, so like we'll have these fake cardboard horses, and then basically, people will like bid like, hey Ben, I want you to be my jockey or whatever. So then, like people will bid like $5,000 to $20,000 to have you as a jockey, and then we race, but like we actually just roll dice. It's at Acrisure Stadium. We roll dice, and every time like if you're going like you can't be number 7, it's not a 7 dice. You know what I'm saying? But if it was like if you're number like 3 or whatever. If you roll on number 3, you'll move up a spot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
So basically, everybody moves up a spot. Whoever wins the 50-50 raffle. So Joey's team won last year. Like Joey didn't bid on himself, but his team ended up winning, and that person ended up winning $100,000.
All right.
Yeah. So, it was so we ended up raising like $500,000 at the event, but it's just it's a really cool event. So cool. we're having that in May. And I think you'll enjoy it. So if you have free time, I'll send you the information to it and let me know. But and then I'm doing that, and then I'm really excited. I'm partnering with Lucas Pyatt. I'm opening up a gym downtown. The UFC is under the UFC brand.
Nice, man.
So it's basically like a basically like most people think of like it's like a fighting gym, but it's just like a state of the art gym. Like they have recovery, they have basically every equipment that you would want, like any type of like just like a regular gym, but it's downtown. But if you want to learn UFC and stuff like that, if you want to learn MMA, you can do that there. And then I also have a marijuana strain that I just came out with. So and so when I was actually going through my injury, I will use marijuana sometimes to help me deal with pain or anxiety or stress and things like that. And so I ended up partnering with a company here called Organic Remedies, and we have a strain that came out and we sell it across the state. So
you got all kinds of business, brother.
I'm kind of busy,
good for you. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and doing this and being a part of the show and talking to us and
thank you for having me, man.
Sitting down in the basement with us. This is what we do. So it was fun.
I appreciate it, man. I'm glad I was on here, man, and I just got to spend time with you guys.
Likewise, awesome, man. It's a pleasure to meet you, man.
Look forward to see you golf, too.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah, and
I need to practice.
Obviously, your story's been inspiring, man, and to hear what you got going on, what you're doing, and see what you're doing with your podcast and your foundation is awesome, man.
I'm excited for as you keep diving into the speaking stuff and stuff like that, because you like Spence said, you got a story to tell for forever. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, the day after my event, the golf event, so I'm going to Jerome's, and then I'm leaving Jerome's in Atlanta and flying straight up to New York to have a speaking engagement.
Oh, cool.
So
good for you.
Yeah, so I look forward to it. The thing is, I understand what I went through. I understand that it can help a lot of other individuals. And to me, the resiliency I had, how I trusted God, and just how my family really allowed me to overcome this, I think is really important and can help a lot of other people. So I think is something that I definitely want to share.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it, man. Hey, we're gonna land this plane, but real quick before we do, how can I pray for you?
Man, just health and family, man.
Yep,
just health and
definitely.
family. Yep.
Right on, brother. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time. If you are not already, please go follow all of Ryan's socials. I will link them in the description below of this. Check out all the things he mentioned. I will find those links as well, and I'll plug them in so you guys can be a part of all those events. You can check out all of his companies. And stay plugged in on their social medias. If you're not already, go ahead and follow at Footballin' with Ben on Instagram. We do beer lists. We're gonna get some recipes out, I think, to bless the block with some of the, Chef Evan's favorite, or his food, some of our favorite items of his food, and I'll also do giveaways and exclusive content as well. Beyond that, there's also some merch. We got all kinds of. We got merch. There's gonna be so many links in this description, dude.
So much.
Yeah. So there's also you can get football and merch on the link in the description as well. Go ahead and check that out. But we thank you guys for your time. We thank you guys for sending in beers. We thank you guys for being a part of this footballing community as we sit here and just chop it up with friends. So we appreciate you, and we will see you guys next time.
See you Saturday, Duck.